Everyone all right? What a great start to this show. Oh my goodness. Mind Ripper, NS Audio. Is that NS Audio you or is that the mastering? Because that's probably a good thing to just mention as well, that the file that you sent me says pump this NS Audio 6-stem master. So a good, that's the mastering. Okay, so top tip. Make sure your file is labeled correctly, because it's fine with me because we can sort that out. But say like if you'd send that off to a record label, they're not going to be able to know it's you. So just it happens sometimes. I've had to change a few of the file names sent to me today. It's one of them things. You know it's you. Like I've done it myself. I've finished a tune and it's just the title of the tune. This one. Version 6 _ final _ this one in capitals. And then forgot to then just make a copy of it and then change that to the proper title with proper metadata if you can be asked. So yeah. You're welcome. We've had quite a lot of comments in the chat there. I think it was Wilson who mentioned about the distortion, controlled distortion, which is difficult to do, to get it, sounding good. There's there's a difference between like something distorted, not nice, and something that is distorted, controlled way, saturated, or what's it called? We were talking about K-clip, that kind of thing, wave shapers, that kind of thing, which is awesome. Gain stage, clip control, yep, really, really nice. What I liked about it was, I've been writing some notes here. I liked your little drum and bass sections. Because obviously similar tempo, you can do those kind of like little switch ups into the drum and bass section, which I thought was great. They kind of acted like what you would have in some hard dance music genres, like the breakdown, because there wasn't really a specific breakdown in this, really. I mean, there kind of was, but that was kind of like where these drum and bass loops were coming in, and I quite liked that because it kept the energy up. But you still knew that it was kind of like, it was like a palette cleanser moving into the next thing. You can control for, of course. I like the switch ups between your overdriven, distorted kick drums and whatever else it was that you had. There was some of the interesting sounds that you had in there, change ups of the bass, I think, as well. Obviously, I've only had one listen. I always take my time to listen to a new tune maybe 2 or 3 times, really hear everything. A bit like watching a film. If you watch a film, watch it through once. If you watch it through again, you notice different things about it, don't you? And what else did I write? Yeah, great levels, well balanced. I did notice, and this isn't like any critique at all, because it's probably not relevant to this genre so much, or it might be. I don't know a lot about, I'm presuming this is Gabba techno, hardcore. I didn't hear any like typical effects or automation. So there were no like kind of like obvious high pass filter transitions into the next section, that kind of thing. And also I didn't really hear any things like what I would put in, which would be like impacts or uprises or downrises, those kinds of things. And the reason why that stuck out to me is I think that just goes to show how well produced this tune is, that you can get it sounding cohesive without needing to use this, the usual high pass, low pass automations around the transitions, or indeed like the effects and stuff. I like that. I found that quite interesting, because if you can do that in a track without needing to rely on those things to kind of tie it all in and blend it in, then that shows a high They just blended nicely. Okay, your riser stuck out and my impact stuck out a lot more before filtering. Okay, so you have. Well, you've done it in a way that is not overly done, and I like that. I like that. Again, like I say, it's only my first listen through to it. I just liked how it sounded. I liked the way that, you know what, it reminds me, I don't know how you've made this track, but it reminds me of the old school method of maybe trackers or an actual, on hardware, where you would just be like jamming with it and bringing shit in and out like we used to do on 8-track DAT tape and stuff. So I really like that rawness of it and things just switching up. So yeah, really, really nice. Well done. Go and follow Mind Ripper, please, guys. The link is at the top of the chat. Next up, we have got Logic Jelly Donut.
allowed to eat jelly donuts, Private Pile.
Sir, no, sir.
And why not, Private Pile?
Sir, because I'm too heavy, sir.
Because you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile.
Sir, yes, sir.
Then why did you hide a jelly donut in your footlocker, Private Pile?
Sir, because I was hungry, sir.
Because you were hungry. Private Pile has dishonored himself and dishonored the platoon. You people have not given Private Pile the proper motivation. From now on, whenever Private Pile fucks up, I will not punish him. I will punish all of you. And the way I see it, ladies, you owe me for one jelly donut. Exercise.
we go. That is Jelly Donut, Paul Jarrett, aka Logic. What a tune. What did you guys think? See a lot of love in the chat for this one. Low end is wicked, says Wilson. Yep, I agree. I liked the kick a lot. I liked the click. I liked the doofiness. Player Pat, yeah, someone else has said that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. It was interesting that the bass line never came away from that root note, which can allow the track to be more driving. Doesn't always need to have a progression. You also find a lot of that with techno, trance. Trance sometimes, well, quite a lot of the time, doesn't even really have a bass line. It's more like toms, low toms in that area. And the reason for that, and the reason why someone might make the decision to keep the bass line on that root note, is it kind of keeps that driving energy to it. So yeah, I really liked it. Nicely balanced. It took me ages to convince him to send it to you, says Chris. Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy because, and I know that is something that a lot of you have said to me before, before sending something in, or that you took a long time to make that decision to send something in. I'd like to think that we have a very positive environment on this show. The number one reason why I started it was to help each other with our, music production, and for you just to get confirmation, usually, of things sounding good. It's very rare that I have to say to someone, I can't play your track on the show because, X, Y, Z. And even at that point, I'll always give them some advice and feedback on what they need to do to make it listenable. Ha ha! Nick says, don't underestimate how intimidating you are. Brilliant. Am I? People think this, right? I have heard that before. And then when people become my friend, that really goes away. Like, I am a Labrador. If you'd put me in dog terms, I'm definitely a Labrador. JLF says, help me so much this show. Good. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm a Labrador until someone does something to one of my friends, and then I'm a Rottweiler. But, I'll always have time for your art, all of you. You will just make sure we get you on the show and we'll all listen to your track. And like I said, if it wasn't ready to be listened to, I always email back and say, do this. You're not a cat person. What? How did you think? Why would you think I'm not a cat person? I love cats. I love cats and I love dogs. We have 2 cats. We did have 3 cats, but Magic passed away last year. But yeah, we love cats. Guy was never a cat person. Guy was a dog person, and I made him into a cat person. He loves cats now. I love cats and dogs. But yeah, I just mean that, and it's just the easiest way of like explaining not to be intimidated by me. If you think about a Labrador, just happy to see you. Unless you're a dickhead, and then I'm like, You are, Richie. You're a cat man. So yeah, I really do like this tune. Paul, well done for sending it in. I think it's a really strong track. I like the Hoovers in it as well. Really, really nice. They say cats can sync with things that are outside of our sensory range. Of course. We know this. We know this through physics. There's a lot we can't see. There's a lot we can't hear. There's a lot we can't do. There you go. The end. Bye. Fuck off. Oh. Yeah, do you remember that, Wilson? I was thinking about him today. So for a bit of context, Wilson's just said, I remember a dude sending in something made by someone else. Yeah, Jeffrey. He became a bit of a meme, didn't he? Don't be a Jeffrey. So Jeffrey decided he was going to pretend that he made some other people's music. And he kind of got away with it for a week, maybe two. Well, no, I don't even think it was 2 weeks. It was 1 week. But he sent me 3 tunes that he'd apparently remixed. But listening to them, they all had very, very different not themes. They all had very, very different finishings to them. So they all it didn't sound uniform. You know, like when you hear music by a certain person, like you kind of get a feel for their sound, even if it's been mastered. Like there's still this kind of like this theme, and everyone's got that. I've got mine. I'm sure you guys have got yours, but these were all drastically different. And one day, he'd brought something in and we played it, and then a friend of mine was in the chat, Mike, and he is a commercial DJ. He knows his music inside out, back to front, better than me, better than a lot of DJs. And he said, no, he said, that is a David Guetta remix of an electro track from around 2006. And we went, what? What? And I went, hang on, Jeffrey, stay there. And live on the stream, I went to YouTube. We played the David Guetta remix from 2006. And then I played his remix. We're like, oh, this sounds exactly the same. He absolutely lost his shit. He got so angry, and then he threatened that he was going to come back under different names and just continue to troll and just send in loads of different music because we had like disrespected him. It's like he didn't at all, but yeah, it's like, why would you do that? And it's not, you know, there are some people in the industry who have done that. I've had friends of mine tell me they've had their music stolen, and they literally just download the track and then change the file name and then release it under a completely different name. Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird. So weird why someone would I don't even feel angry about it. I just think that it's quite sad that someone would feel the need to do that. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's mental. So I just ended up using Shazam a lot more. But yeah, that was like the worst one that had ever happened. We had someone who was sending music in that was just, it was bad. But I told him off stream, I said, look, there is a part in this track where, and this isn't like subjective, I mean, it was objectively bad in terms of it being out of tune. He had like let's say it was like a guitar riff over a bass line and a melody, and it was just completely out of pitch. It was not in the same key. It wasn't in a harmonic of that key. And I told him, didn't want to hear it. He absolutely went mental at me on email, shouting at me, not shouting at me like through an email, but you know when someone's obviously like very vexed, and didn't take it very well at all. But yeah, I think that when you can kind of read between the lines with certain people, and then he did say that he was like an alcoholic and he had these outbursts and stuff. I was like, okay, fine, don't worry about it. He didn't go into the inbox of doom or anything, you know. He, I don't think he actually apologised, but he just said that he sends things like that sometimes because he's, you know what I mean? Like, I can't do that, like, because I don't. If I want to fucking have a go at someone, does that mean I have to get drunk first in order to get away with it? It's like, but it's socially acceptable, isn't it? Oh, sorry, I was really drunk. Oh, that's okay then. I won't take it personally that you said, fuck off, you absolute piece of shit. I fucking hate you. Love, Dad. You can't say things like that when you're sober because people assume you mean it. You know, but when you're drunk, it's kind of like you literally have to say, okay, that's okay then. Because if you don't accept their apology, this is how I feel anyway. I don't know about you guys. You don't have to accept anyone's apology if you don't want to, but I always feel a little bit bad if I didn't. But, you know, I just don't talk to them anymore. But I did wish him well. But yeah, it's strange. It's just the internet though, isn't it? You're gonna come up against some very strange people. Not me. Not me. Oh. Anyway, hello Harley, how you doing? It takes a bigger person to accept an apology. Yeah, I mean, you can accept an apology, but it doesn't mean that you have to forget what happened. Something that I've always learned, or something that I have learned, and I always say now, is forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Doesn't mean that you have to mess with that person anymore, talk to them or anything like that. But forgiveness is different to forgetting. I won't necessarily forget something. I'll forgive it though. But say like if that person, for example, started then speaking to me again, because it's been quite a long time, I'll probably be like, yeah, that's fine. But my hackles, my heckles will be up, or you know, like my back will be up. What's the saying? I'll have a guard on. There we go, a guard on. Stop, Richie. Stop being rude. I'll have a guard on. No. Oh, God, it's so hard having ADHD. You know what I mean? But yeah, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Don't need to forget. In fact, it's probably important that you don't, you know, forget when someone's been terrible to you. But yeah, like, I don't think there's been that many times people have been terrible to me. I usually end up forgiving a lot of things and moving on. So yeah, I don't take things personally like that anymore. But yeah, most of you have been amazing. I just want to, you know, help push your music at the end of the day. So stop it, Richie. Next up, we've got Wilson Serrano, and this is Infusion. go. That is Infusion by the amazing Wilson Serrano. So going back to what I was saying before about people having a certain sound to their music, it's like it's something that it's compiled of a few things: sonically, arrangement, stylistically, sound selection. Could also be mixed down, what is being prioritized. Certain people can prioritize rides, for example, and sometimes people set the rides back, so it's more like a very subtle lift. Whereas in like techno, the rides kind of like bring it up by quite a lot. Like with Mindripper's track, I mentioned about effects and automation. He said that they were in there, but he brought them down. Whereas for me, I'd probably have them kind of like sitting up front a little bit more, just to kind of like give the listener a kind of like, or the DJ as well, like that priming for, okay, the next section's coming now. So yeah, everyone's got their own kind of special ways, either intentionally or subconsciously, how they make music, which is really interesting to me, like how people are inspired by other people's work on so many levels. In fact, I've just bought a vinyl that Guy told me about, that Guy was inspired by for his track called Ripped Out. And the way that Guy gets inspired by music, like, if you were living with a musical genius, you'd just be like interviewing them constantly. And me and Guy have been together for 13 years now, and we're still constantly like asking him questions all the time. So I went up and I said to him the other day, I was like, what made you do this certain thing? I'm going to go into it too much now because I want to talk about Wilson's track, but my point of it being, when I get the track, we will go over it, and we'll probably have a bit of a sit down, probably when I'm just playing it in a DJ set. But I just find it very interesting what he was inspired by, and what he actually ripped from that tune. The tune's called Ripped Out, and how he used that sample, and how he can be inspired by a track in a way that is not obvious at all. It's not like, oh, I have just sampled this part of a tune. This is like a deeper layer of being inspired by something in terms of the feeling or that it invokes, or the pattern, but using it in a slightly different way. Like it's really convoluted the way that he gets inspired by things, and it's like I say, it's not in a way that would be obvious. You would never listen to that track and go, oh, that's ripping off this tune. And I like that. I think that's a really interesting part of being a really, really good artist, is being inspired by things on a level that you've completely changed it to be your thing. And that's everything in this world, isn't it? Everything is kind of inspired by something else. It's not really, we have to get out of this thought process of it being original. It's not really original anymore, but that's okay. Everyone's got people who they are inspired by. So with Wilson's track, yeah, I see this sound that you have, or I hear this sound that you have, and we've always said that. There is something quite different about this tune, that is not appeared in any of the other tracks that I've heard of yours, and that was the bass line. This bass line to me sounded very psytrance-esque. It moved around a lot more, and it gave it this kind of like energy. It's something that I could hear in a psytrance tune. I could probably hear in a hard groove track. I like that about it. Yeah, it's tighter. Maybe that's what I'm hearing as well, but certainly the reason why it stuck out to me was it was jumping around a lot more from the root note, which I really liked. It was very funky sounding as well. So very different to the normal kind of runner bass, trancey tunes that, we're used to hearing, not just from yourself, but other people. So I liked that about it. I thought it gave this track its identity. Yes. That's what I wanted to say on it anyway. And I want you guys to make sure you go and follow Wilson Serrano, please, because he's amazing. The percussion is Spitfire drumline. Spitfire, I know Spit. What does it do? Oh, I see. Got it. Okay, cool. Nice. That's a different way of using of doing let me just show you guys quickly what I'm looking at. So this is Spitfire drumline. Nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Does doing it that way make you feel a bit more inspired instead of just dropping in a loop kind of thing? Mark says it was great. I love the sound. I've not heard a Wilson track in ages, and this was class. His sound has evolved. Yeah. On top of the master, there is an extra layer of higher frequency, so double recorded basically. Nice. Yeah, I like the look of it as well. That's quite cool. There's another one that I have been trying to use a bit more, which is XLN Life, which is pretty cool. And also a one called Interlope or Interloper, which is a way to layer sounds, but do it in a way that's maybe a bit less time consuming than the, original way of maybe having the gate of one kick and then the click of another and then body on one and having them all layered and then having to, level them, maybe put in a bit of spike, maybe put a bit of high pass filter, add a bit of EQ to one of the layers, whatever it is that you're doing, with all of those layers. Interloper kind of makes the whole process a bit more streamlined. And also it has an AI generative feature on it, so it can generate the sound of a kick, the sound of a snare, the sound of a clap, whatever it is. So you've got something that's completely original there. Well, not completely original, but it might be something that will spark, I'll use that instead of just going for your normal samples, even if it's just for a layer. But yeah, I've found there's so many amazing plugins coming out at the moment. So many. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, Intergroup. No, Richie, stop it. So yeah, if you can go and follow Wilson Serrano, please, gang. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for sending that in. Next up, we've got Silent Letter, who's currently in Colombia. You all know why Colombia is amazing. Because of the music. So, Wreckx-N-Effect, Rump Shaker, Silent Letter, Flip. Here we go.
wanna do. Where you comb your hair, where you where you comb your hair. Now let's go to where where you comb your hair. Now let's go to where where you comb your hair. Where you comb your hair. Now let's go to where you comb your hair. Now let's go to where you comb your hair. Now let's go to where now let's go to where
There we go. Wreckx-N-Effect's Rump Shaker. I remember the original, and that is Silent Letter Flip. I really like what you've done with that. So subjectively, because I know you've got your own sound with this and you know what you're doing, but subjectively, I would have probably given a bit more emphasis to the mids and the highs. Well, maybe not the highs. There's quite a lot of, like on that vocal, for example, there wasn't much body to that vocal. It sounded like it was EQ'd quite heavily, like, you know, like the listening to something through a telephone kind of thing. But it was probably an intentional processing technique that you've done there. And I get that because it's kind of like giving this juxtaposed position, what's the word? Difference between like the very bassy UK garage vibes and then this kind of like vocal. And it also didn't take the attention away from, you know, the drums and that groove as well. But I would have liked to, because I'm just not concerned, that sounds a bit too harsh. I would be interested to see how that song would translate on different platforms. I don't mean platforms as in like on the internet. What I mean is on different devices. So like on a TV, on a phone with very limited sub and low mids capabilities, headphones, car, that kind of thing. Because in your studio, it probably sounds mint. In my studio, it sounds pretty mint, but it won't always translate well onto different systems. And I think that might be something that you might want to consider if you want to, of course. I've done a check, it plays great, all I've ever. I've done a check, it plays great, all of ever. Okay, cool. You didn't chat with it already. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, because as I said, it was literally just more of a subjective thing. I like the feel of it. I think that it's very you. So yeah. Of course you can Control 4. You recommend as many plugins as you want, darling. You knock yourself out. Mid-range, newfangled. What's that? I'll look it up afterwards. I'll just get distracted again otherwise. But that's really cool. So if anyone wants to check that out, go and check out Mid-Range Newfangled. I really like this. I like what you did with the with your flip. Infusion is out on 11th of July. Says Wilson. Brilliant. Which is it out on? Which label is it out on? But yeah, I really like that one. Silent there. Thank you. Thank you very much for sending it in. And guys, make sure you go and follow Silent Letter. Enjoy your time in Colombia. Whatever you're getting up to, have fun. Okay. Now we're going to be very serious now. Serious faces on. Okay, this is LOXLEY, Addicts, and this is the JLF. remix. Incoming Sounds, says Wilson. Okay, brilliant. That's the record label that it's coming out on. Fantastic. I'm not surprised that it has been signed at all. It's awesome. I'm going to go for a wee while I put this on. I've already heard this tune and I absolutely love it. I'm going to put it on. I'll be right back. BRB, as they say. There we go. There's JLF. Josh, well done. I really, really like that. I love the acid in it. As Matt Handy said, very acid techno sounding. Very much your sound in there as well. That vocal has been used before. I think it's from... It's Thingy, isn't it? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It was used from I first heard it in a track on Vicious Circle, Crazy Pills. And then there's the Get a Life, You Drug Addicts. That was in there as well. Flash, yes. Frantic Theme, yes. What a tune. It's all Phocyon 2. I absolutely love Phocyon 2. No one knows how to pronounce it. More Drugs on Short Circuit. I have that. Yeah, it was also on that as well. But the film it was from, I can't remember it now. But yeah, it's been on a few. It's a great little, I don't know what I was saying then. What was I saying? My brain just shut off then. It's a great little. There we go. Sam Gifford, welcome in, mate. I hope you're well. Good to see you. Human Tragic. Who made Phocyon? I don't know, but I love Phocyon. Are you not getting on with your TD3? JLF. Do you know what I do now? So I use, as some of you will know, I use my TD3 on my on when I'm DJing as a hybrid DJ edition. When it comes to music production, Shiva, thank you. Brrr. Thank you very much for subscribing with your Amazon Prime. I really appreciate you. Thank you. You're too lazy to move it from your deck, you say, so it's not plugged in. Yep, I'm the same. It can stay there, quite frankly. I don't want to be moving it around. If I was going to use it in my music, I would just buy a different one. So I'd buy the MO version as well. Phocyon doesn't involve cable management. Very true. However, do you know what? I'm going to retract the thing that I was about to say, which I didn't actually say. There you go. The end. I was going to say that it's sometimes nice to like use like an acid box to put in your acid lines, but there's something, yeah, like it's nice to have something tangible for your music, isn't it? But you know what? There's something that I need to tell you guys about. It's something that Guys just bought. Now, I can't remember the name for it. I'll find out and I'll let you know on a future show. But basically, it's kind of, it looks a bit like a Stream Deck. So if you know what a Stream Deck looks like, one of these. It looks a bit like this, but it's made specifically for FL Studio, Pro Tools, Ableton. It works right out the box. So it uses, I'm guessing, like it uses like the scripts, and like it just knows to map itself. You don't have to like do it yourself. So in FL Studio, you would like link to controller in the options, link to controller. You'd wiggle the knob on one thing and then you'd wiggle the knob on the screen and then it would connect. But the problem with that method, like over the last 20 years of using, 15 years of using FL Studio, what would happen is every time that you'd finish the project or close down the project, should I say, and then reopen it, you'd have to redo link to controller. So what this does, I'm going to just give him a call now and find out what the fuck fucking hell, it's cool because it would. I don't want to just like not tell you. Oh, he sent me a message. It says he's put need dishwasher tablets. Oh, he's a card. Hang on a second. I can hear him upstairs. I think he's making me some food. Oh, hello. Hi. What's the thing called that you bought? You know, your new controller? Because it's a weird name, isn't it? The what? Hello? What's it called? How do you spell it? AUR. Yeah, then what? ITEQ. Got it. Cheers, babe. Okay, cool. Thank you. Go on, okay.
The device that I've got is the Oritech Fleur.
Okay. The what?
Oritech, it's a Oritech, which I've told you, and then Fleur, FLOW.
Okay, cool. Can you just do me a favour? Can you just say the word ozone?
Ozone.
No! Say it like you say it.
Ozone.
Ozone. Do it.
I've done it. Ozone.
Thank you. Love you.
Ozone.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye. Okay. He's from Hull. There's nothing wrong with him. It's fine. So yeah, this is the thing that he's bought, and I'm gonna get one as well. It's only like 130 quid or something. But for 185. So it's this thing here. And you can map these to whatever you want, right? And then you've got physical knobs here. But the difference between this and other versions of this, or other, just a MIDI, you know, like if you've got an Oxygen keyboard and you've got some knobs on there, or pads or faders, whatever it is, and then you can link to controller, you know, in that kind of a way. It's done within the actual software itself. It just works. It just works out the box. And then you've even got, like, you can just press this button here, mono, and it will just like sum it to mono, so you can just check. You've got these wonderful VU meters here, LUFS checker, and you can change the mixer levels from here as well. It's just so cool. And it also is a USB hub as well. So you can also use it as a USB hub. But yeah, it's fantastic. And he bought it recently and he's integrated it into his workflow. And now I definitely want to get one. So yeah, just going back to what we were saying JOL here, like feel JLF. Feel your plugins like real hardware. Control any parameter with physical knobs. And get instant visual feedback. No more guessing what parameter you're on or where it's set. And I think that is sometimes something that is missing when we are just using a mouse and, you know, wiggling the mouse around as you do. So I personally like to have something tangible. So yeah, that's what I would consider getting if you were going to get something for your workflow in your DAW. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? But yeah, he's it's honestly, it's brilliant. He's had it for a while now. I think he's come downstairs to give me food. No. Oh. Fine. He's making me some Greek yogurt bread. It's mental. You can make bread out of Greek yogurt. Because I don't eat bread anymore. And I was like, oh, I want some bread. So, yeah, I think that I just wanted to show you that because I think that it's a really good, quite low investment for a big, like, difference in your workflow. Because you know what it's like sometimes. Things can be tedious. So you can set up a script within that will, for example, if you load in a VST, then that VST will automatically link itself to a mixer channel and to a MIDI pattern, for example. It's kind of like an if that then this kind of argument making thing. So very, very similar, like I said, to a Stream Deck, and maybe things like if you're a streamer, you'll use something like Touch Portal. I use Touch Portal a lot to do like channel point redemptions, or just to tell the computer to do a list of things in a row as one action, like a macro kind of thing. So yeah, have a look at that, see what you think. Harley says, why did you choose FL Studio over other DAWs? Okay, so the reason why I chose FL Studio, when I got pregnant when I was 28, I knew that obviously I wouldn't be DJing for a bit after having the kids. And so I bought FL Studio, maybe because I think at the time, Guy was actually engineering a lot of my music at the time. We weren't together then or anything. I was with my other husband. And but Guy did used to engineer my music, and I remember him using it, so I bought it. And then it's just, life's weird, isn't it? And then years later, we just ended up, becoming a thing. Like years and years and years and years later. He used FL Studio, so it was the first one that I was really I ever saw a lot of. And the only other one was Cubase, and I used to use Cubase a bit when I was at college. But it was kind of like it was kind of the one that made more sense to me than Cubase. So he played the long game and it paid off. He didn't think of me like that back then, or at least he said he didn't. I didn't think of him like that either. He was someone that I knew, obviously in our scene and stuff. And it's crazy now, like the whole thing, just looking back. But yeah, it's life's strange like that. It is strange like that. But I think for me personally, I have to be with somebody who is involved in music, because that's all I've ever known. It's been my only job, apart from being a veterinary receptionist when I was 17, which I lost that job. But all I know is music. So, being with somebody who wasn't in the music industry would have been extremely difficult for the relationship to continue, because just of the way that it is, you have to be very used to not seeing that person, or being okay with them, like not existing in terms of because they're in the studio making music or whatever. So you kind of have to be really. I just find that it works better to be with someone, unless they're proper chill and they've got their own stuff going on. Because you know what it's like, right? Typically, people go to work in the morning and they get back on the evening, and then all they want to do is chill out on the sofa and watch TV. That's the time. And then at the weekends, they want to go and visit family, or do some shopping, or potter around the house, or whatever the fuck normal people do. I don't know. I'm not one of them. So if you imagine, if you're a DJ and you're DJing all over the world, every weekend you're somewhere new. In the summer, you're probably away in the weekdays as well. You will probably not be on those same, wavelengths in terms of being able to spend time with each other, or family commitments, Sunday dinner, that kind of thing. Hi, Devil Darren. Yeah, it's there are people that don't go out to races in the weekend and spend Sunday in the studio. Exactly. It's one of those things where I think that when you're with someone that's in the industry, you either need to be quite happily allow them to do their own thing for multiple hours of the day, or if you're in that industry as well, you just be fine with it. So yeah, I just I never did the whole Sunday dinner thing, going around to people's parents' houses and spending that Sunday eating food. No, I was probably still out partying. Thank you very much. Not giving up that day. Hi, DJ Alfonso. How you doing? But yeah, where did we get onto that subject anyway? I can't remember now. But yeah, that's pretty much. Oh yeah, because we were talking about guys' knobs. So yeah, I would get that if I were you because it's really good. It's okay, Ladu Laser. It's fine. I have to be responsible for my own tangents. You guys are just talking. It's fine. That's what we're here for. No one's in a rush, are they? No one needs to do anything. It's fine. Oh, with your long game comment. Yes! I remember now. Yeah, he did play the long game. Oh, I'm so glad he did. I'm so happy with him. He's my best friend. He'll do like little things like if I show an interest in something, he'll go and find out about it and then show me all the things he's found out about it. It's so cute. Like he found the Ninja coffee maker. It's like it's too expensive for me to get at the moment, but I might save up for one. It's like, ooh, you know you like coffee. I'm like, yeah, I know I like coffee. He's like, have you seen this? But yeah, he'll always come and show me stuff, and like this is one of the main things that he's researched and found that he really likes is that Auratech Flow. So if anyone uses Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic Pro, I think it's kind of a bit of a game changer, that one. So yeah. Link, yes. Let me give you the link. I'll put the link on the YouTube in the comments as well. In the description, so you guys can go and get that as well. But yeah, really good remix, JLF. I like this. Like I said, I love the acid lines. I like the use of Faux Scion 2, which is, if you haven't used it yet and you like putting acid in your tracks, go and check out Faux Scion 2. It's quite cheap, and they do have offers on it at certain points, like Black Friday deals and stuff where you can get it pretty cheap. But it's a staple. If you like Agent Jack's music, then you will really enjoy using that as an acid line creator. Because one of the main things I like about it is it comes, like, as most emulation TB303 emulation plugins, VSTs come with patterns and stuff, but it also has presets of different distortion units as well, like the rat pedal and things like that, so you can get a really good sound really, really quickly. And there's loads of really cool, yeah, the rat distortion is one of my faves. I'm going to get a proper rat distortion, but I've got a few. And again, the Behringer ones as well. So I've got a Ultra Octava, I've got a Super Fuzz, and sometimes I put those through my TD3, which is plugged into my DJ setup, just to change the sound a little bit. You'd be surprised, like, how much it will change the sound. Again, being in Switzerland recently, doing a back-to-back with Les from Lab 4, we were having a great conversation about guitar pedals, and he was like, that's how we got our sound on a lot of things with his Lab 4 stuff, was, you know, just run stuff through a fucking guitar pedal, whatever distortion unit it was, and completely mess the sound up in a good way. So yeah. Hello, Renee. Hello. You need to buy a patch bay. No. You don't need to buy a patch bay. Just send it through the chain. You got an in and out. So I go from the your TD3 out the back of it into the because Because it's mono. No, you just need to, you can go from the TD3, and then I have another guitar pedal which has got a chorus, a delay, a compressor, and a reverb on it. But you can just send it through. You won't need to have a patch bay, unless you wanted to use it for more than one thing though. And also, actually, saying that, if you had it in a patch bay, you'd be able to leave it in and then like use it for other stuff as well. So yeah, that's quite a good idea actually. But yeah, there's so many possibilities. It's all good fun. Next up, Lister, and this is called Now is the Time for Acid. There we go. That is Lister. Now is the time. DJ Vortex in the Twitch chat right now. Such a good tune. So I was making some notes as I was listening to it as well. One of the things that I found really interesting about this. Now I know that riff from a track called Bits and Pieces. But I'm aware that Now Is the Time is a hardcore tune. And I wonder if that was originally from Now Is the Time. I'm not sure. But I remember it from Bits and Pieces. So I like that you've taken that riff and used it in this context. Hello, Pregnant Leanna. Yeah, so and the really interesting thing about Bits and Pieces, the really interesting thing about that riff, and the reason why I think it probably originally came from a hardcore tune was because it's in a major key, i.e. happy hardcore. And the reason why happy hardcore is called happy hardcore is because typically it's made in a major key, which sounds more happy. Now, most dance music is written in a minor key. And that makes it a bit more believable. And I say that by, what I mean by that is it sounds a bit more moody, you know, like, I don't think Guy's ever made a track ever in a major key, for example, because it wouldn't fit his style of making riffs. And most music is made in it, most dance music, as in rave music, hard house. Let's just stick to hard house at the moment. Most of that hard house, hard trance will be made in a minor key. It just kind of is more believable. It's more moody, and then it will have sections where it will be euphoric, but it will mainly sit in a minor key. Now this was a major key, and yeah, I do as well. Well, JLS, but I wish more people made happy hardcore. I love listening to happy hardcore. But yeah, so I thought it was notable to mention that this was made in a major key, which is quite difficult to pull off. Stop it, Richie. In a hard house context, there are not many hard house tunes that sound quite driving like this that are in a major key. It reminded me very, very much of Random But Raw, very much his kind of percussion as well. Not percussion, his production style. So it reminded me very much of Random But Raw. I've got a fly in here. What you doing, fly? Why don't you just fly away, huh? One of the spiders will get him. I've got loads of spiders in my studio. Mate, you might want to go that way. It'd be really cool if you did. If you listened to me. Hi. Where's he gone? Oh, he's not listening. He's not listening to me. But yeah, and also you had a really cool, I think it was a bandpass filter on, in fact, I'm sure it was a bandpass filter, maybe a parallel bandpass filter that was wiki-wiring all over the Now, the reason why that's important is because that riff, after the brain's got used to it for a while, the brain's just going to be like, nah, mate, I've listened to this too many times. So what you do is you end up doing a bit of automation like that with a bandpass filter, and it just adds a bit of movement and ear candy. So you don't have to do it all the way through. So you could start with it being like just normal in the beginning, and then the next section, instead of adding something else or putting another octave layer on or switching it up or whatever, sometimes to keep the interest of the listener, it can be as simple as adding a bit of bandpass filtering automation on one of those lead sounds. Very, very, very typical of hard house music to have one of those in there, but very, very, very useful for adding a bit of interest and stopping the track from sounding, too stagnant or samey all the way through. So yeah, I really like that about it as well. The acid line I thought was awesome. I thought that acid line, the pattern of it was, again, now this would be a more obvious version of it if anyone's starting to learn how to, make music and hasn't got to automation yet. If you listen to the acid line, see how it gets screamy at parts. That's the filter cut off. So that is making it sound, it's got like a different resonance on different areas of it. So again, it gives it a journey, instead of it just being a static sound all the way through, because it could be quite an annoying sound if it didn't have that movement to it. Now, I really like this acid sound. I think someone mentioned that it could do with some more distortion. I don't agree. I actually quite like it being a bit more high, like high mids and highs. I think it's a nice juxtaposition between those leads there, and then I like that. I think it gives it lift being up there. So yeah, I quite like that. I liked the fact that it was. I just like I think mainly it's the pattern of it. You also want to thank Caustic for this too. Oh, awesome! Did you collab together on this? That's brilliant. Awesome. So yeah, JLF says he wanted it to have more distortion and saturation. Do you know what? If you did do that, it would sound really, really mint. I do agree with you, JLF. I think it's still quite powerful like this, but yeah, I mean, this is something I used to do. I think I've mentioned this before. I used to always EQ out a lot of the mids and the low end of my acid lines. And one day, Guy went, "Oh no, what are you doing that for? You don't do that." And I went, "What do you mean I don't do that?" I was like, "Whatever." And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, you tell me what to do." He said, "We got to think about it." And he was quite right, actually, because I was using the acid line as like a higher up sound in terms of it being sonically, I wasn't. Guy said to me, "Give it its moment." So that means don't EQ out all of the lower frequencies into the mids. Give it all of that spectrum of sound. And I was quite frightened by this prospect. I was like, well, it's going to clash with all the other things. But if you just let it sit up front, give it its moment, let it be like the main focus of the track. And he was completely right. He was completely right. I did say to him, "What the fuck do you know?" I love doing that. I love asking him for advice on the stuff and then going, "Shut up. You don't know." Guyver. But yeah, and since then, I absolutely do that on all of my acid lines. But yeah, the thing is, you've got to experience stuff yourself. I wouldn't want Guy to sit there and babysit every single music production thing that I do, because I've got to do my own thing. We work extremely differently now. I do a lot on Ableton again now as well. Guy doesn't use Ableton at all. It's cool because I get to show him stuff as well now, which is great. But you will find your own way of doing things. Neither way is right or wrong. Or no, neither way is wrong. But the way that works best for you is the correct way to do things. And I think I kind of like tripped myself over quite a bit in the early days. I was just trying to do everything that Guy did in the same way that Guy did it. And I wasn't having fun with it in that way. Even if I'm doing something that I might later then change, or Guy might say, maybe you should try like with the acid line thing. And I'm like, actually, yeah, that does sound better. You've got to have that journey. So there's no time wasted, as Deadmau5 says. It's just time experienced in the studio. So it's no good someone just sitting there telling you what they think you should do, which is kind of what the whole show's about. Bye! You've got to experience it for yourself. You have to go through the motions. You want to go through the motions because it's the best journey in the whole world. It's the worst journey in the whole world. It's like having a dysfunctional relationship. It's awful. And there he is. That fly's still there. No one's going to like it. You're going to hate it. And then occasionally you might do something that sounds all right. And then you're like, yeah, got it now. No, you haven't. The next project you start, no. And then it might work. And then at some point, someone might say, that's all right, that. On SoundCloud. And they'll like it. And they might follow you. And that only generally takes about 20 years to do that. So keep on rocking. Go on, keep chugging. Keep chugging along. Yeah. Just waiting for that day when someone goes on my SoundCloud and writes, sick track, dude. Yes! Yes! Sorry, Goofy D doesn't work on here. Compu says, I'm 17 years in and hate myself. So true. Yeah. This is it. It's just the best experience. And I've always said this. It's a parallel journey with yourself. Thank you, Guyver. He's made me some food. Look, it's the Greek yogurt thing. So this is Greek yogurt and a bit of flour, and it turns it into bread. And then he's put mozzarella on it and sun-dried tomatoes. That's awesome. You've got to do it for the love, exactly. But it's a great way to know yourself on a deep level. That's how deeply I feel about this. It's about how can I best express what's going on in here and in my heart through music. And the better you get at the workflow, and because it's not always as hard as it is in the beginning. You know how hard it is in the beginning to learn where all the things are. It's not even about the DAW. You've got to understand IT as well. You need to understand where to put things. Have like some kind of folder structure where your plugins go, where your samples go. You've got to understand about what kind of computer you're going to need, how much RAM, do you need a decent GPU? There's so many other variables. It's not just about sitting down and learning how to make music. There's so many other things. And I think that it's really important to really cherish that journey and honour that journey. It can take years and years, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And then you get to synthesis. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm just so happy to be, having this channel and talking to you guys about music, and you all understand it. And those of you who just watch because you like listening to music, I hope that it inspires you to maybe go and try and make some music yourself. We make it sound like it's a chore, but it doesn't have to be. It can be an enjoyable experience. It only needs to be as difficult as you want it to be. So, or as in depth, should I say? It might be a little bit difficult in the beginning, but it's certainly not that like that all the way through. And when you get to that place where you're quite apt at, getting things put in your studio session, that's when you can really go into this flow state and really express yourself in certain ways. So yeah, it's just an amazing thing. Yeah, Digital Equinox, make sure that you do. While we're just having a quick tete-a-tete, don't forget, my raffle is still got, I think it's a week and a bit left. You can win a signed copy of my song, the EP Part 1, Attack Warning and Kiri, and one of my compilation CDs that I did years ago. This one is Hard Dance Republic, so I will sign this. You get a DVD. Remember DVDs? There's a DVD in there. And then there's also Rob to Sarah. And then you've got Ed Reel. That's a nice photo of little happy chappy, cheeky chappy. And then me. And I've still got this T-shirt upstairs. Me with dark hair. I don't know why they chose that photo, I look like I've got a triangle nose. Really bizarre. I like Rob's one though. Rob looks like Rob looks like he's blushing. Someone's just told him how beautiful he is. He's like, oh, stop it. No, I'm not. Oh, really? Oh, shucks. And then Ed Real looks like he's about to go and do something naughty. Like, God, I'm going to go and shop there. I'm going to go and nick some 2020. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. So, yeah, that could be yours. Please go and grab yourself a raffle ticket or a few if you want. I'm leaving the link in the chat now and at the top of the screen. Tickets are just £1 and you can get multiple tickets. So, yeah. Thank you. Next up. Thank you, Dan. Is DJ Campbell is next. I don't think Campbell's in actually. DJ Campbell is next. And then what I'll do is I'll just keep an eye on who's in the chat. No, he's not. I'm going to do Nick Rowland first because I know that Nick is around. So, yeah, I'll do Nick's first. If you are in the chat and you're still waiting for your tune to be played, let me know because I'll bump it up because we've got quite a few to get through. So I don't mind putting the people who are not here on last. Because I know you guys have got lives to get back to and stuff. So if you don't, please stick around and continue to give your advice and feedback as well. Thank you. Here we go. So this is Nick Rowland and this is called Artemis Who.
Sound suppression water is flowing. 15. And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And lift off.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute. Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis 2 mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour. Seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark. Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up, guidance converged.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready. Integrity, SM priming complete.
Minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state, ahead of service module fairing separation. 3 minutes into the flight, Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour. Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston integrity, good last jettison, great view. Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02. We see the tail on board, Stan. And Houston has you loud and clear on Tigris at the Carmen line. Outstanding, Stan, we have the same.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis 2, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison, now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Integrity, GPS processing. Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Yep. I like this. Nick Rowland, take a bow. I really like it. The only thing that, this is probably subjective, but the only thing that I felt was that the because it's difficult with a sample like that, and I'm on about like the speaky, spacey, spoken word sample. Difficult to sometimes get that balanced and like working with the rest of a tune. I would, if you were going to go back into this, I would probably do a few like washes, maybe like some blur, like textures, and then kind of lead them in, you know, like a bit like a reverse reverb, that kind of thing, but taking, you know, maybe a vowel here or there and then just making it fully wet, bouncing that down, and then using that in ways at the beginning, just before, obviously, when the vocal comes in, just to kind of get the ear prepared for it to come in. And then maybe at the ends of the sections of it, just have like a big delay come in and like automate it up that will kind of like fade it out, because it just felt a bit stuck on top of it a little bit.
Has visuals of his destination, GPS guidance, navigation, and control software, finishes internal checks, and sends to navigation channels. 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry integrity.
Also, maybe a little bit of side chaining, especially in these bits where you've got the leads and the vocal, because the leads and the vocal are competing for the same frequencies.
Of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission at this point.
So by putting a side chain on the vocal to duck down the leads, it's going to prioritize the leads on only need a tiny little bit of it, but it will just help those peaks for it to come through a little bit more, because we can't really hear what it's saying.
3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange.
It just needs a little bit of TLC on it. It's very, 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 very near to being complete, but that's the only thing that I can think of. I love it. Oh, it's got that sound in it. That's a very you sound, that. It's funny that, considering you've made it. That ba-da-boo, ba-da-boo, ba-da-boo.
Integrity, SM Prime.
Ba-da-boo. That's you. That's a you sound. You did.
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time. Standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%. And solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2 minute 9 second mark.
Yeah, I like all the sound. They get a little talky thing in the back there.
Confirmed separation.
Solid tune, mate. Really like that. Back to having all of our own signatures. I know, right? Yeah. I was playing that song that you did about 25 years ago the other day. One of them. It goes, feel love for you. Feel love for you. What you love me do. That one. I think it's called You. Or is that a different one? You know the one. You know it. You fucking made it. Give me a guard on. I'm going to start saying that to people that I don't like now. Which is, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't speak to them. But if I did, I'd say, you're giving me a guard on.
At this point, 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's all it needs doing. A little bit of TLC on that vocal. If you want to, you know, well, prioritising that vocal so we can hear it a bit more. Try side chaining it to those leads or the lead bus group, and see if you can get it, just let it poke its head through a little bit. 25 years ago, mate. Yeah, it's you, isn't it? Yeah. You. Good tune, that. I think that's going to boo as well.
Performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Yeah, really good effort, mate. Thank you for sending it in. I love it. Yay. So make sure you go and follow the real Nick Rowland, not the fake one, the real one. Thanks, guys. I feel love for you. Next up, we have got Norman Giscombe Jr., Get Up and Dance, and this is the Ralphie D and JD NoiZe remix. JD NoiZe is in the chat. Hello, mate. Thank you again for sending something in. I appreciate you. I look forward to hearing this, something a little bit different in a really good way. Here we go. That was Norman Giscombe Jr., Get Up and Dance, Ralphie D and JD NoiZe remix. Just want to check something. Because I heard a bit of distortion on the end of that tune. I just want to check if it's my sound card or not. Let me just have a quick listen. Okay, can you hear that? So at the beginning, it's fine. Now I'm going to go to the end and I can hear some kind of... Sounds like it's clipping, it's distorting, which is interesting because, yeah, can you hear that? It's fine here. That's fine. What's different? Yeah, just my ears could pick that up a little bit. I wonder what that is then, because I don't think you've well, I don't know if you've turned up the levels and but then there's a limiter on it, then I won't be able to see that. Oh, it's the overdrive. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I would just go back into the project and have a look at that because it's definitely significant. So it'll be an easy fix as well. It'll be an easy fix. But it's certainly not there in the beginning. So I wonder if it's anything else that's kind of added in later on, and it might just be like pushing the levels up a little bit too much. It's in the vocal. Oh, it's in the vocals. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, if it's in the vocals, because it's exactly the same thing that it's been said over and over again, just copy and paste it from the first bit. Because it's fine here. So if, I know what it is. It's because it's a vinyl rip, probably. So yeah, I would just copy and paste. It's like, sometimes it can be like that. Yeah, that's what it'll be. So literally just copy and paste out that get up and dance to the music, get up, get down. So that 8 bars, and then stick that at the end instead. Sorted. And extra effects layers, maybe, but if you say it's on that vocal, then that will be something that you could just fix by just copy and pasting it out the first time. Something that I've had to do on my uni assignments, they've given us problem tunes to mix down, excuse me, and master. But mainly as a mix down engineer, you're given a track with could be any genre. And it's got loads and loads and loads of stems, and you have to work through which ones are the problem on. Some of them have got this distortion on part of it, or there might be a clip in the recording, or if it's a vocal, there might be a bit where there's some sibilance, where the singer has been too close to the mic and it's made a sound or a kind of a sound, and it's spiked the levels. So, and if it was a chorus and it's already been sung beforehand, you just literally just pick up the good one, and then replace the shitty one with the new with the one that was okay. So it also works for any other things that you're using, like loops or any piece of recorded audio or something that's vinyl ripped or whatever. Vinyl rips are the worst for it, to be fair. So yeah, apart from that, I mean, even in despite of that, should I say, I love this tune. It was a breath of fresh air to have a disco orientated track on this show. All these duffs. We needed a bit of culture, and you have provided that. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? And the thing is, we mustn't be scared of using old vinyl rips of stuff, because it can add character as well. So yeah, it's just about having, you know, being a bit of a human troubleshooter with it and finding workarounds for it. Like if you were going to use a sample that you've sampled from a record, but it sounds a bit like, if you want to shape it a bit better, you know, instead of using like a normal, what you would normally do, like an LFO tool or a volume envelope, as in like an amplitude volume envelope, using a filter instead, and it can give it a bit more of a natural sound to it, or just a different sound to it, instead of using like the normal. I keep saying normal, but one of the other ways of doing it would be to use a volume envelope. Especially helpful if you are working with samples that might not be as clean as you'd want them, because then it gives it that kind of character. It has a bit more of a, you keep the original character, which is the reason why you wanted to use it in the first. Yeah, good talk and good tune. That's what they do, isn't it? Eh? Have you seen people in nightclubs? They do this. Silly. They do that. Well, to me, when I'm playing, they're doing that and that. But, you know, I've seen people doing that. Call me a twat. There we go. Next. DJ Campbell. And this is called Funky Maneuver.
doing the James Brown. Come on, get some, stop yelling. I know you like the jam, but this name is too seldom selling it. Simple because I hide it, but super love be getting. Causing the girls to freak the funky jam that I be kicking. Poison any girl as I rap, they will be quoting, also scoping and hoping I will the man because I'm doping. Girls love the love of the guys, say I'm gonna recommend. Notice that you find I go back and I double check it, man. Supposed to make you jump, so throw my feet on a loop. Thinking that's a thumb, you funky, doping, and stupid. Supposed to make you jump, so throw my feet on a loop. Thinking that's a thumb, you funky, doping, and stupid. Supposed to make you jump, so throw my feet on a loop. Thinking that's a thumb, you funky, doping, and stupid. I tell you entertainer, causing you lick it down. Bust a soup and rock your palm without doing the James Brown.
I can hear so many like samples in this, like this bit. That's from Short Dick Man. Yeah, there's just so many like references to other awesome tunes in this, but done in a way that just makes it completely his. Like he certainly has a sound, and I always feel very excited when I see that DJ Campbell has sent in another tune for the demo drop. Always puts a smile on my face. Absolutely amazing. Really, really well done. Very, very. I think he spent quite a bit of time on this one as well. And there were hello Space Fam, and there was definitely like sections to this. Like at the end when he's got like the kind of pizzicato string section in there as well, like the chords, kind of like encore and four kind of style. That was a nice extra lift as well, and switch up, just to keep things interesting. And I loved the vocal. I thought it was cheeky. I thought it was fun. So much energy in these tunes, and there's all these like you get whiplash, musical whiplash from listening to one of his tunes. One of my favourites from him. I'd say top three definitely. Well done to Campbell, and please go and give Campbell a follow. Next up, I went to Unity in the Sun. I'd never played a Unity in the Sun event before. It's run by Billy Bunter, Dan, and I got asked to play on the very, very last one, and I was really, really happy about that. And I got to meet Jay, who is also known as Fat Controller, who makes music with Rob Tessera. And so I mentioned about the demo drop to Jay when I was out there, and he's given me a sneak peek into a new track that he's done with Rob and their guys together, which is RTFC, which I'm guessing is Rob Tessera, and then FC Fat Controller, possibly, I'd say. So we're going to listen to that tune now. And it's called Take Me Back. I've not listened to this all the way through yet. I'm going to go for a wee actually while it's playing because I need one. That's why I'm going to go and have one. So I'll listen to it on my phone. I don't miss anything of it. Okay, so set up.
What's your name? Where you from? All together, loved up as one. Peace, love, unity, and respect.
How good was that? That is Rob Tessera and Fat Controller under their guys. RTFC, Take Me Back. Great nod to, very nostalgic, should I say. I think it's Strings of Life is where that sample is from. And yeah, see you later, laddie laser, love you. I really, really love this. Like, in terms of like sonically, mixed down wise, the sounds were perfect in my opinion. It just sounded so well balanced. Really sounded like it was really nice and wide, but also very solid. Really, really well done. Really, really well done. Really, really nice. Very, very professional. Yeah, I could listen to that a lot. Yeah, loved it. And that vocal as well. I don't know if that's like an original vocal or maybe like an AI vocal. It's difficult to tell these days. That like the AI vocals are getting really good now. Oh, some of them are shit, obviously. Because this is kind of ad-libby. It's not like someone singing verses and choruses. You can kind of probably use AI if it is. But then I know that they will both have loads of people that they know who could sing stuff as well. Oh, come on. This is so good. So good. Yeah, absolutely love that. Thank you, Space Fam. Yeah, that's just goals. Production wise, like what were we even talking about? Take me back. Just perfect. Yeah, I honestly do think that is a really, really, really good, a really well mixed down, produced, well polished track. It's just It just sounds really nice. Really, really nice. That bass line is great.
From every town and every city, we came together as one. Smiling faces, going places, and we danced all night long. Looking back,
I didn't hear this bit because I was having a piss. But yeah, so there is a verse, chorus kind of feel to it as well. Yeah, I just think the whole thing is brilliant. Really, really nice. Makes you realise how much there is to learn. Yeah. And, you know, that's a good thing because, like, for me now, like, when I find a tune like this that I really like, I will use it as a reference track and I will try and break it down. You know, what is it that I like about it? For me right now, what I think that I like about this is in terms of like what I'm hearing sonically, is the wideness of it. The wideness without losing the fidelity. The solidity. And where things are sitting as well, especially the vocal. We can take note, you can hear the vocal really clearly over all the other things.
we came together as one.
Even though there's a piano there. See how that's kind of like the piano is dipped at that point. Here, louder here, piano. And then or it could be sidechained to it or something, or at least the vocal is higher volume wise than it, but is well balanced is what I'm getting at. However, but again, this is something that I would listen to over and over again, and I would try and kind of like pick it out. And all the way through that, can you hear the kick really clearly over everything? Yes. Kick's not getting lost in any of that. That is really, really, really good. That is really good use of shaping sounds. Fantastic. Best tune I've heard this year. Make sure you go and follow Rob Tessera and Fat Controller, please, on their socials. 10 out, yeah, easy 10 out of 10. It's perfect to me, that. There's nothing. Okay, there's one thing I'd change. I'd make it longer. I'd have like a whole hour of that. Okay, next up. We've got Bellini Beats. And this is a track called Mitsubishi Heaven. So Bellini Beats, I don't think they've been on the show before. And this is Andy and Lindsay, who are Bellini Beats. I think they have recently played at Hannah Lang's event, Doof, as well as some other cool stuff as well. Had track signed to some labels. Oh, God. Why do you do this? Sorry. SoundCloud is a cunt. I'm sorry, but it really is. It brings this thing up when you start playing a tune, and then it brings up this like box, and then you can't like click on the box to get like out of whatever it is you do. It's just stupid. Fuck off, basically. Fuck off, stupid box on SoundCloud. Don't want you. I never, ever, ever asked for that. I hate pop-ups. Leave pop-ups in 1998 when you click on something that you shouldn't have. Not that I did, but I heard that happened. I don't want that to happen on SoundCloud. It's just annoying. So here we go. This is Bellini Beats.
Drop the beat.
Nothing crazy, you said. Next thing you know, it's sirens. Traffic cones on our heads, strippers' tits in our faces, and a night of bad habits and regrets in the blink of an eye. Hearts racing, pupils paint. Nothing can stop us now. It's off to Mitsubishi heaven we go, baby. I wish this night could last forever. I wanna live in the moment.
That is Bellini Beats, Mitsubishi Heaven. What a tune. I absolutely loved that. Cheeky. It reminded me of a few kind of similar ones from early 2000s, that kind of style. I like that detuned bum 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 bum. Reminded me of what does it remind me of? Commercial trance tunes from around like early 2000s, maybe 90s, late 90s, that kind of club. Yes, Clubheads. Yes, Clubheads. Definitely. That is that specific sound as well. Like, it is perfect. Stylistically, very, very much like that style, that kind of that kind of era. but brought bang up to date with, you know, today's kind of like, you know, what we can do in music in DAWs now, you know, to make things sound even more upfront without it being, you know, too brick walled. Is still, you know, got dynamics in it. And yeah, I like the vocal. Yeah, really nice. Could do with a slight change during the start, says SLB. Can't describe what I mean. I don't produce, but yes, got me going when melody comes along. Cool. Yeah, well, you know, that beginning bit, that's usually what the DJs use in order to mix in the track. So that bit that you're hearing, usually, like when it's been played in a club, you wouldn't hear that bit. So that might be what you're referring to there. Like when you listen to music on Spotify, for example, you'll usually be listening to like a radio edit or like, a radio edit. Or what they call it now, the original mix. And then the DJ version will be called the extended mix. So the DJ version will have a bit at the beginning where it's just a kick and percussion. And then the bass line comes in and then the main part of the tune happens. So usually you wouldn't hear that bit. But yeah, I really like this. I thought it was very well produced. I love the offbeat bass line. And I liked the part where we then go into a bit of a progression. But the progression isn't there straight away. We keep it like on that flat, on that root note for a while. And then halfway through, after that main drop, and then we start doing a bit of a progression with that bass. Keeps the interest, and it just provides like a, you know, a different section without, you know, having to think of adding more things to the track. So I appreciate stuff like that. I think it adds another nice surprise. Yeah, Andy and Lindsay, thank you for sending this one to me. I will be supporting this track and playing it in my sets. And yeah, thank you for sending it to me. And yeah, like I said to you on an email earlier, played it on the demo drop now, and I'll make sure to look out for you and your work in future, because I really like that. Really up my strata. Next up is Pete Maxwell. And this is a track called Beryllium. Beryllium? What did he do? Beryllium. Is that like a thing? Is that like a chemistry thing? Is it a substance? I don't know. Maybe you can tell me in the chat what it is. I'm not sure. AM, Take a Bow. That is Beryllium, which is a thingy that Richie said. What is it again? It's a thing, isn't it? Type of metal or something. Beryllium is a rare steel grey lightweight alkaline earth metal with atomic number 4. There we go. Great name for a great track. I like this tune. I think that it's got a great start to it. I wouldn't say it's completely finished for me, but if it is finished, then it's still, an amazing track. I would maybe consider one of two things, either whittling it down a little bit and what I mean by whittling it down a bit, what do I mean? Be specific. So what I mean is the sections are quite long and it is 7 minutes 46 seconds long. I reckon it could be a little bit shorter, but that's subjective. It's fine the way that it is. But I just feel like the rhythm of it, as in like the way that it moves, the movement of it, the arrangement would be better if it was just cut down a little bit in sections. But also that might ruin, the feel of it as well. So like I said, this is just a subjective thing. I also think it might sound really great with a vocal on it, or at least some kind of vocal ad-libs in there. Hello, Paul. Yeah, we played yours earlier. It sounded like the sub could be dialed back a little. Listen. Possibly, if you crank that up in a nightclub, for example, yeah, you might find that it would be a bit rattly. I can hear a rumble on that kick. I don't think it's the bass. It might be, yeah, I think you're right saying in this sub, but I think it's a rumble. Yeah, it's in that beginning bit as well. Yeah, I agree. I think that with sub should be felt and not heard. I agree as well. JLF has just said when the bass came in, it felt like it needed more mid-lows. Yeah, because it is very subby. And the reason why that would be an important change to make would be when it comes to the progression, when we've got the changes in the bass line. So here, dun, dun. Goes down even lower on that second note there of that pattern, which it like some notes have got a different resonance to others, and sometimes it can make it more powerful, or you'll have to like tame it back a little bit. I feel like that could have given it a bit more movement. It could give it a bit more energy if instead of going to that lower fifth, it went up to the higher. And then it goes down even lower at that point. So yeah, I agree. I think a mid-low would sound quite good layered into that bass. And then what will happen is you probably won't feel the need to turn up that sub quite so much. This is something that I've done myself, where I've got like a quite subby bass and I can't quite hear it. So I end up pushing the volume of it up, thinking, okay, that's better, I can hear it now. But sub really should be felt and not necessarily heard in that way. In this context, anyway. Yeah, I agree. I think having a mid-bass, buzzy bass in there, something with a bit of rasp, maybe something mid-low, like JLF said, might bring that. Just allow you not to have so much sub in there. Because, yeah, you're right. It might who was it that said, Sam? It might at higher volumes present an issue. But yeah, it's just one of those things you don't know until this is where you have to do these tests. You have to do the car test, you have to do the club test, you have to do the TV test, the phone test, the TV test, different monitors, DJ setup, headphones test, earbuds test. But yeah, I still liked it. I thought it was great. It reminded me of the song, the very well known trance hymn called Airwave. I've only realised with Subvest way is when you pull it back and can't hear it. Yeah. But when you take it off, you miss it. So when you mute it, you have it lower than you think you need it, but then just mute that channel while the whole tune's playing, and you'll feel that it's missing. It's good, isn't it? Version 9.2, final. This one in capitals. How are you getting on with the Subfest anyway? I've heard about those. Are they any good? Are they worth the hype? Let me know in the chat while we listen to the next tune, which is Silent Republic and Jono. And this is Disco Wrecker. Oh, this is a great tune. Jono is in my DJ group as well. And I've taught Jono at the HTE Weekender. Also already a very accomplished DJ. So Sam says, yes, it's noticeable, but less is more. Definitely, I agree. I completely agree. I have a sub in my studio. I enjoy having it. I don't ever need to turn it off. But yeah, it's nice just to have that there, just to get the clarity on the bottom end. Best way, not vest. Oh, okay, so it's not a vest. Is it a vest? Were you talking about a vest as well? But then you just said the word wrong. So it's not a vest. You're not on about wearing one of those packs that that give you like that sub feeling. Because there is one of those things that exist. Oh, it's just a typo. Okay, you're just talking about it in general. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Charlie Bosch, he was one of the people that has bought a sub vest or a vest that that picks up the sub frequencies. I don't think he uses it anymore though. But yeah, there you go. So next up, we've got Silent Republic and Jono, Disco Wrecker.
Disco record.
Disco Wrecker, Jono and Silent Republic. I really like this. It's a very well put together hard house tune. I like the kind of like the side trancey things in there as well. The ear candy, I guess you could call it. I think there's a lot of layers to that as well. Very well mixed down. Yeah, I just thought it was a really solid kind of like stompy hard house tune. Yes, Paul. Yeah, I agree. It has an edge to it. Yeah, sometimes I don't have much to say about a track, and that's usually a good thing, other than, I enjoyed listening to it. I thought it had a great pace. It didn't feel like it was going on too much. It had some really nice sections in there. Nice and like gritty, texturized sounds in there as well. So, good use of synthesis, and good choice of samples as well for the percussion, and like the kick relationship with everything was really, really nice as well. Stood out really well. Nice and heavy kick. Came through everything nicely. Could always hear that kick there. It wasn't like covered over by other sounds. So yeah, again, good sound choices and shaping of said sounds too. Well done. Big pat on the back for you two. Yeah, do you ever do that? No, nor me. That would be stupid, wouldn't it? Next up, we've got Jason Mack and Uncle Pablo, and this is a track called Burning Down.
fine. Ain't no better space when you're part of this crowd. Burning down space with funky so fine. Ain't no better space when you're part of this crowd. Burning down space with funky so fine. Ain't no better space when you're part of this crowd.
Okay, that was Jason Mack and Uncle Pablo, Burning Down. 1 second, I'm just going to open with Reese. Oh, hang on. Always. Okay, so I just want to go over something that is bugging me about this tune. There is a note in the bass in that sub in the progression which is sticking out as incorrect to me, but notably on one section it actually sounds correct. So what did I say? 5 minutes 25 is what it was correct. So let's just have a listen to this bass progression. Okay, this is flat. That last one there, so we're talking, what? Hang on. We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on bar 8, 7, this one. Duh. It should be duh. It should be duh, duh, duh. So it's one semitone out. Let's listen again. It's because I understand the concept, right, of it being like it's like a resolving note, but the reason why it doesn't work is when we get into when there's more melody. So here. That last one there. If anyone else does music theory or understands what I'm saying there, it doesn't work on that note. Can I elaborate why it doesn't work? Because if the it's even though technically, well, it doesn't really doesn't matter if it doesn't work. How can I put this? So the progression is so it's okay, do you know what it is? It's because I'm expecting it to be that I'm expecting the resolving note. No, I'm not on about the notes. I'm on about the actual note that it's on. Am I going to have to open up FL? I'm going to have to. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so if I just get FL out, get flex bass. Will that do it? Let me just get my keyboard. Hang on. Things I do for you lot. And MIDI. Okay. Now quickly find a. Okay. So go back to the track. Okay, so we're in E. E's the first. E's are good. So I'm expecting to hear. But instead, at the end, it goes. No. Do you know what I mean? So instead of the resolve being. And then back up to the. It goes. So it's trying to be moody. I get why it's like that. Listen again. But it doesn't work with the rest of the progression. What do you mean you couldn't hear it? You couldn't hear it? Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I put the music down. I do apologise. Didn't you hear any of that? Fucking hell. Okay. Okay, so can you hear that? Okay, so this is the progression. 6, 7. So it's that 8th note. So basically what's happening is So it's in E. I'm expecting to hear resolution of, but it doesn't do. Then back up to, it doesn't do that, it goes. So it goes like that. No, not take it up an octave. It's basically their bass line goes. Which is just being moody, and I get it, but what I'm expecting to hear and why it sounds incorrect when you've got that melody, that chord progression over the top, I'm expecting to hear the ending go. And then back up to the root note. But it doesn't do that, it goes. But it's not technically wrong at all. It's just moody, like this. It's sounding moody for a reason, so I get it. However, as soon as that other melody comes in, it sounds wrong. It would sound better as a resolution note if it went up to there. So yeah, that's what I'm on about with it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong at all. I'm just expecting to hear something that I'm not, and it just sounds out. And the other thing that it could be as well, because it's so low as a sub note, sometimes the perception can be that it's slightly out of tune with everything else. And again, as soon as you start using samples of stuff, you have to make sure that all of your samples are tuned. You've got to tune it to something though. Got to be tuned to something. If you're changing what you're tuning stuff to, you're going to lose the solidity. So usually I would say tune everything to your bass line. With this track, I don't think that that's been the case. I think it's probably been tuned either to the vocal or that bum 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 bum, that chord progression. And I do think that bass line is moving around too much. It doesn't need to be moving around as much as it is. It's moving around every bar, but on some of them it's moving twice every bar. I think it's just too much movement in that bass line. It's ruining the solidity of the track, and coupled with the fact that it's a very low sound, a low subby sound, it's quite easy on some of those notes to not only lose the note in terms of velocity because of the resonance on certain notes, also the fact that it's too subby means that it can also, the perception of the note, even though you look on the piano roll, you look at it and you go, oh, that is that note, it doesn't always sound like it's on that note. So yeah, I think it's a little bit too subby. Just maybe look into that. But yeah, it's just something that is niggling to me. It doesn't mean that it's wrong at all. It's just because when you do that, I can understand why that would be like the resolution. Back up to. Like, it makes sense. But as soon as you add in those other samples, because there's a lot of melodic content in here, you've got that dun 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 dun, and then you got those both have progressions in them that it will either fit or will not fit. So if you've got a really moving around bass line with that, it's gonna you're gonna have to sacrifice something. So I hope that made sense. Yay! And I can't believe I did most of that without any noise and you guys didn't say anything, or I didn't see that you didn't say anything. But we got there in the end. But yeah, that's music theory, you know. But like I said, it's not necessarily wrong. It's a great tune. Everything else I really, really liked about it. And I wouldn't be so passionate about telling you what I would like to fix in a track if I didn't think that it was fixable or worth it. So yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for joining me back on another session of whatever the fuck this is, the demo drop. Thank you, everybody. That is our show. Clap, clap, clap. Pats on backs to all of you. I'm very, very proud of each and every one of you for everything that you do musically, everything that you do listening to music. If you're a non-artist musician, you actually are really, really important. You are the ones that listen to our music, and you might not think that you could get involved in these discussions, but you absolutely can. As I've mentioned before, Guy's favourite person to get to listen to his music is his mum. Because he knows if his mum likes it, then it's a given. Quality Stuff Tonight actually gave me the bug again because I was getting fed up with it. Mate! Yeah, I completely understand why you've said that. A really good way to get around that is to maybe make a different style of music. That can always be fun. Doing a remix. Something that I've really enjoyed doing recently is sorting out people's AI music for them. So a lot of people are making AI generated music these days. We can't, escape that fact that is happening. But obviously, they are absolutely crap at any of the kick, bass kind of stuff. And, a lot of the way that it makes the music and puts it all together, it causes a lot of phasing and glitches and stuff. But some of the initial ideas can be really, really good. So something I've really enjoyed doing recently is doing engineering work for non-producers who want a club-ready, DJ-friendly version of the music that they've made in Suno or whatever. And what I do is I end up using my stem separation software, one of my special models for UVR, which is really good at extracting. It takes a bit of tinkering around with, but it's very, very good at extracting certain parts of those kinds of tracks and then building from that initial idea that and getting inspired by the bits that they like from that AI track, and then just building out a proper well-made dance tune for them and then mastering it and stuff. So if that's something that you would want me to look at for you, if you are a non-producer and you're not making your own music, but you have a track that you've made in generative AI and you'd like to DJ it out or give it to your DJ friends or get it signed maybe, then let me know, because that is a service that I'm doing at the moment. And it certainly made me quite inspired and interested in making music, because sometimes we can get stuck in our own little bubbles, can't we? Been remixing older trance tunes. Just good to hear someone else's stuff to give your ears a break. Yeah, completely. But yeah, that's what we're here for, and I hope that has been inspiring for you guys. And I will see you. What am I going to see? I'll see you at the weekend. I don't think I've got any gigs this weekend. I've got 2 the weekend after. I've got Western Supermare and Crew the weekend after. So I'll be seeing you at the weekend. Saturday, maybe Friday as well. Friday and Saturday, Sunday. And then Trance Monday next week we've got with Podders as well, which would be fun. So stick around for the raid. We're going to go and see Sam Davies because she's really cool.